come here to the beautiful Yoyogi Park to do a video on how to stop drinking alcohol. Now, if you haven't seen the video already, go to see 1 year no alcohol, before and after my journey of quitting alcohol, the benefits, what was easy, what was difficult. But in this video, a little bit shorter, I'm going to give you my top tips on how to stop drinking alcohol. It's in a countdown style. I think you're going to like this. The first thing I need you to do is put a comment below if you're quitting alcohol, or if you've already quit alcohol, give some love and support to the other people who are quitting alcohol. That's the first thing I'd like you to do. Let's go. Alcohol can form our identity. You know, one thing that I learned about alcohol as I was quitting is, one, it's chemically addictive, that's for sure. Number two, there are environmental factors as well. Habitual factors, if you like we usually drink at the end of the day to wash the day away, that kind of thing. Or we just go to places and we have friends that just drink around us, and that's part of the environment that we're in. These are environmental factors. Now, this is very true for people who take drugs as well, actually. That you have drug friends and you have those environments too. So if you're quitting, this advice is actually going to be good for you too. But the other side of it, the other aspect of it that you need to be aware of when you quit drinking, is that alcohol can actually form part of your identity as well. Now, when we're teenagers, you know, we might start drinking and it might be a way that we can be a bit cool, right? You know, we can be one of the cool kids because we're drinking alcohol. But as we grow older, very often we can use alcohol and drinking as part of our identity that makes us unique and makes us stand out from other people. Oh, I can drink a few pints, me. Oh, it was a rough night the other night, you know, as a badge of honor kind of thing. Or it's, you know, I like a glass of wine at the end of the night, this kind of thing. This is starting to form an identity. So what you can do here is what certainly worked for me, and that is not to allow drinking to form part of your identity, is actually to see yourself as a non-drinker. One very powerful method that I used to quit smoking, quit some other things some time ago, and quit alcohol as well, was to say, hey, I don't need a drink when I felt a bit tempted. Actually, I'm not a drinker anymore. I used to drink. In the past tense, using the past tense. And forming that new identity and saying, well, I'm actually a non-drinker. This is actually who I am. And again, when we get to the end of this video, I'll show you all the people that are in that club. And you'll be shocked, actually, some of the people that are in the non-drinking club. Just that I'm a non-drinker, that's who I am. This is part of my personality. This is my new identity. And I'm really loving it. I'm really loving this new identity. As you quit drinking, you will start to accumulate all of the benefits of not drinking alcohol. You're going to be really surprised. We're going to come on to this next, but you're going to be really surprised about some of the benefits of not drinking alcohol and how awesome you are going to feel very, very quickly. So don't let alcohol be your identity. You are now a non-drinker, and that is your new identity. All in. You've got to commit all in to doing this, and there is a very clever way that you can do this. Now, when I quit drinking, I made a promise to someone that I love very much out loud. Think about, in your life, who is it in your life that if you made a promise to, you know you would never break that promise. It might be a partner, husband or wife, it might be a child, it might be a parent, it might be a really trusted friend or advisor. Who is that person? If you promised out loud that you would never drink again, that you would never break that promise to them. I did that. I made that promise out loud to someone that I love, and I knew as a person of integrity that I would not go back on that promise. So I promised it out loud, and I said, I promise you, I will never drink alcohol again. That promise has kept me very true to not drinking. I've got all the benefits now of not drinking, and we'll come to that a little bit later. But it's been life-changing for me. But without making that promise out loud to someone that I care about, someone whose trust I would never break, it would have been a little bit of a struggle, I have to say, but making that commitment is what I recommend for you, and it's a great way that you can stop drinking. Set a massive and inspiring goal for yourself, and also think about the person you want to become. Now, as we mentioned before, when we drink, it can become part of our identity. But hey, you know, we have other parts of our identity, and we have some aspirational parts to our identity as well. You may have a goal that you want to achieve and a person that you want to become. It can be really helpful when you're quitting alcohol to set a massive inspiring goal for yourself that might take a little bit of time to achieve. It might take a few months or even a few years to achieve. Set that goal for yourself. Give yourself something to focus on other than just quitting alcohol. You're now a non-drinker. Alcohol is no longer going to be part of your identity. But having a goal, a massive goal to aspire to, gives you something else to aim for and to think about. At the same time, take the time to write down, really think about this, write down the person you want to become. Think about the aspirational values that you aspire to. Who is this person that you want to become? Who would you like to be? Write that down, focus on it. Spend time closing your eyes, visualizing being that person. Visualize achieving that long-term goal that you really want to achieve. Maybe it's running a marathon, maybe it's owning a successful business, maybe it's seeing your children go to a great university or getting married or something. Whatever it is for you, think about what that goal is, think about the person you want to become, and spend time becoming that person, visualize that person, because aiming for something really positive in your life, rather than just focus on things that were bad previously, it's far more motivational way to live your life. And it certainly helped me when I was quitting alcohol, when I was going through those first few months of quitting alcohol. Just to aim for something a lot higher was really motivational for me. I really recommend it for you too. I've come into the park this morning and it's great to feel the air, to notice the color of things, to notice the beauty of the light, how it comes through the trees. Now, one thing that will keep you motivated as you quit drinking is you'll realize just how much more awake you are. Now, even if you only drank a couple of beers a night, or even if you were just a recreational drinker drinking 2 or 3 times a week, or if you're a more serious drinker and you're drinking quite a lot every day, when you quit, you will have this wonderful moment very, very quickly where you will start to feel much more awake. And the moments that you will feel that, the moment that I want you to really love that and experience that, is when you were normally drinking. So if you would normally be drinking in an evening, for example, have a glass of wine in the evening or something like this, and you don't drink, rather than focusing on missing, which some people do, focus on the details of everything around you. Focus on the sounds that you can hear. Focus on how awake you are. Focus on the beauty of the color around you in your environment. Go for a walk. Be outside. Notice the color of things. Because this was something that really struck me when I quit. I would be going home, usually at that point, let's say I'd had a couple of beers in the evening after going out to dinner, then I'd be walking home. When I quit and I said, no more drinking, no more alcohol, I'm completely out. And I would then walk home from the restaurant or from a night out with friends, I noticed how awake I was and how wonderful everything was, how much detail I'd actually been missing in these environments. Like, wow, I'd never noticed that before. Yeah, that's, Russell, because you were always drunk when you were going home. So that's something that you can learn to appreciate and savor a little bit when you're out and you're going home from these environments where you would normally have been drinking. Just notice some of the details that you'd missed on the other times, and you'll start to really value the benefits of being awake, which is, for me, one of the best benefits. It's not the best benefit of not drinking alcohol. Remember, the effects of alcohol are very, very subtle. Even 2 or 3 days after not drinking, or well, after your last drink, you'll still have that depressive aspect to your personality, because that's just how alcohol works. It's a depressant. Certainly affected those around me. But I noticed after 2 or 3 days of not drinking alcohol that, and certainly after a good period of not drinking alcohol, just how more awake I was, how much more colour there was to the world. So let that be some motivation for you. But as you go through your non-drinking journey, as you are now going through your quitting journey, notice the details in everything around you. Water is your friend when you're quitting alcohol. When I wrote my book, New Energized You, we learned that most people are actually dehydrated. And I know that my experience was that when I was quitting alcohol, that at the end of the day, I thought I wanted a beer, but actually I was just really thirsty. Now, I lived in the tropics at the time, but actually I was just really, really thirsty. And when you're quitting alcohol and you feel like you want that beer, you want that glass of wine, drink a few glasses of water. 2 large tumblers of water usually does the trick. And you quickly realize that you probably no longer want to drink. So water is a great weapon that you've got at your disposal. When you go out, there are great non-alcoholic beers. You're going to have to find some drinks that you like, that are non-alcoholic, that you can use to drink when you're going out in the evening. Honestly, I just switched to water, and sparkling water sometimes too. There are some great non-alcoholic beers too as well. So water is your weapon. You're going to use this, drink a lot, especially late in the afternoon. You want to make sure that you're drinking a couple of tumblers of water at least. The other thing is you don't have to quit everything at the same time. So if you like a bit of cookies or some chocolate, or you like ice cream or something like that, hey, that's okay. You can quit all that later on. I certainly did when I went on the keto diet. Well, one thing at a time. It's completely okay during this first few months when you're becoming a non-alcoholic that you can have a reward of some ice cream or something like this. But don't forget to hydrate, drink a lot of water, especially later in the day. That is absolutely vital when you're quitting alcohol. Well, drinking is becoming normalized in society, just in the same way that in the 1990s, suddenly cigarettes, we know when I grew up, a lot of people smoked, I certainly smoked. People used to smoke on airplanes, believe it or not. And suddenly in the 1990s, smoking became a bad thing. It became a pariah thing. And you're starting to see the same thing with alcohol now as well. There are a lot of very cool people, and I promise to bring you the list of very cool people that don't drink alcohol. Zac Efron, Robert Downey Jr., Natalie Portman, Eva Mendes, Common, Brad Pitt, Bradley Cooper. Did I mention Samuel L. Jackson? Ewan McGregor. Go online, find out all these people that don't drink. Loads of sportsmen don't drink. In fact, probably most. Lewis Hamilton doesn't drink. David Beckham doesn't drink alcohol. You are amongst very, very good company. Who wouldn't want to be in a party with those people? I certainly would, and you would be in very good company. And you wouldn't feel guilty, you wouldn't feel awkward for not drinking, because you would realize that actually a lot of people don't drink, and a lot of very cool people don't drink as well. Now, if you go to the comments, you'll see there's a lot of people that have quit or are quitting, and you're certainly not alone. I can tell you that when I quit drinking, I was shocked about how many people, how many good friends of mine, people around me, said that they wanted to quit drinking as well. And I started to notice the amount of other people around me, people that I really respected, that actually weren't drinking. And I never really realized it. You're not alone. Welcome to the club of non-drinkers. This is the best thing that I've ever done. I really question why I started drinking in the first place. And if I could go back and speak to my younger self, I think the advice I would give that person is, Russell, don't start drinking. I hope you found this video useful. Please leave your comments below. Please like the video as well, because it helps the channel to grow, obviously. But leaving your comments below offers a lot of support to other people who are going through the same journey. And I hope you found this video very valuable, and I wish you the very best of luck and massive respect for not drinking alcohol. All the very best. Good luck.